While plotting his revenge on the accursed Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom sees the beautiful Alicia Masters, which makes him realize a dark truth about himself. Although my brain is the equal of Reed Richards himself, I too have had my one weak spot. I have never fully understood other human beings. Even now, I cannot comprehend how one such as lovely as Alicia Masters can feel affection for the grotesque Thing. How ironic it is that even a gargoyle such as the Thing can find love. Even he can mingle with normal people, and yet I alone dare not expose my face to the view of other humans. I alone must hide like a dark wraith from the sight of my fellow man. But I shall have my revenge upon the entire human race, beginning with the Fantastic Four, starting now.
All right. This is Jack, and here's your 4 facts about Fantastic Four 17 in the clutches of Doctor Doom. This story was used in 3 different formats. The original comic book story that we're going to discuss today, the radio show that you heard last episode, and as the basis of the Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four episode, The Micro World of Doctor Doom. Number 2, the Thing demonstrates the ability to hold off his change for the first time. His love for Alicia being the prime motivator. Now, way later in the 80s, John Byrne would make use of this in a storyline entitled Rocky Grimm Space Ranger. See, Ben stayed behind on Battleworld. That's the one that Beyonder created for the Secret Wars, because he could change back and forth. You later on find out that he could always change back and forth, but it was his love for Alicia that prevented him from doing it. I'm not going to go any further into what happens in that story because it's great, and you should actually read it. It came out simultaneously in the Thing's solo series with the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars written by Jim Shooter. But in Marvel continuity, it takes place directly after the Secret Wars. So if you were to read it now, unlike what happened to us back then, you would be able to read it without spoiling the ending to Secret Wars. Number 3, the team demonstrates a much closer camaraderie here than they had up to this point. When Alicia is taken, there's huge concern by everybody, not just Ben. Ben's almost out of his mind about it, but Reed is immediately working on the situation, and Johnny backs Ben like a brother would. And when Sue finally finds Alicia and she's crying and weeping while she's captured by Doctor Doom, Sue tears into Doom with a fury that we have not seen her use in the Fantastic Four comic book to this point. Number 4, all 4 characters on the team demonstrate new uses for their abilities and some actual new skills. Mr. Fantastic is able to make himself thin enough to go through the pores in concrete while it's still wet before it hardens. Reed is in a room by himself, and one of Doom's 4 death traps is that he starts to fill the room with concrete. Of course, cement wouldn't give Reed a chance normally to get out, right? He'd be stuck and there's nowhere to stretch. But Reed makes himself less than pencil thin and goes through the pores while it's still waiting to harden, and then slides himself flat underneath the door. It's really a cool moment, and definitely something new for Mr. Fantastic. Number 2, the Thing, as mentioned before, is able to use his willpower to slow down the change. He's coming at Doctor Doom's base, and because of Doctor Doom's tracker hunter robots, the Doom base that's floating in the air in this giant blimp has their atomic and molecular structure. Now, what's important about that is their laser beams targeting that structure. So Reed turns Ben back temporarily. So it changes his atomic and molecular structure. He's able to get into the ship, but he starts to turn back to Thing. Now, if he'd have turned back to Thing, he would have been fried by the lasers. Of course, Alicia would have died, and the Fantastic Four would have lost, and they couldn't have stopped Dr. Doom. So Thing garners his willpower and prevents the change from happening until after he gets aboard ship and he's safe from the lasers. It's an amazing scene with great art, too. You should check it out. Number 3, the Human Torch uses his abilities in 2 new ways. He unsuccessfully attempts to track Doom's heat signature. Now, he was tracking heat signatures, but he tracked way too many because pretty much everybody's got one. The much more successful use of his powers is that he creates lifelike images out of flame. That's right. He fools Dr. Doom, and Johnny himself says that he hadn't had a single art class. That's pretty darn good. The Invisible Girl demonstrates that she is a judo expert. That's right. She tosses Doom around with a couple of judo throws when she's really angry about what Doom has done to Alicia. You can't blame her there. Alicia was crying. It was pretty ugly. But anyway, Sue mentions as she's battling Doom that Reed Richards taught her judo. So you can add judo to her arsenal. And those are your 4 facts.
I love racing cars, chasing gales, and lighting on fire. That's why they call me the Human Torch. Freedom!
In the final panel of this story, they're celebrating their happy ending. Reed and Sue embrace, Thing and Alicia are having their moment, and we have Torch on his own. Sue, darling, if anything had happened to you... Benjamin Grimm, stop! You're making my head spin. That's what you do to me, doll, every time I look at you. Eesh, what a lot of mush. Don't blame Dr. Doom for jumping.
This issue starts just after the end of the previous issue, with the Fantastic Four saying goodbye to Ant-Man, who helped them in the micro world. The Thing then recounts the adventure of Doctor Doom. Just they survived before all trying to find Doom individually. Unfortunately, none of them are successful. That night, the Fantastic Four are about to leave the Baxter Building when they find a massive crowd of their fans in the lobby. Not wanting to wade through the packed crowd, a janitor offers them a back entrance out of the building, which they accept. The janitor then asks to shake hands with the 4 celebrities, which they naturally agree to. However, once they're gone, the janitor reveals himself to be Dr. Doom, having placed a small transparent disc on the hand of each Fantastic Four member when he shook their hands. Dr. Doom then sends out 4 robots to follow the discs, each one to follow one member of the Fantastic Four. The robots cause havoc in the Fantastic Four's private lives by following them around. Whenever the frustrated heroes try to attack the tractor bots, their attacks go straight through them. When they regroup, Mr. Fantastic works out that the robots are attracted to them for a reason. Reed finds the transparent disc slipped on by Doom. Brushing it off makes the robots disappear. Although there is more to Doom's plan than just the robots. Shortly afterwards, Dr. Doom kidnaps Alicia Masters and sends them a message to the Fantastic Four, telling them not to oppose him or she will be killed. Doom then sends a message to Washington demanding a post in the president's cabinet as he craves power, but is predictably turned down. In retaliation, Doom shuts down all electronics all over America, causing the government to turn to the Fantastic Four for help. Mr. Fantastic finds out that Dr. Doom's base is a flying laboratory hidden in an artificial cloud. In fact, it is protected by disintegrator guns, which are set to destroy our heroes. The robots Von Doom sent to follow the Four around also scanned each member's atomic and molecular structure. As changing to Ben Grimm changes the Thing's atomic structure, Mr. Fantastic creates a serum which will allow him to get past the guns and deactivate them so the rest of the team can follow. The Thing is successful in doing this, and when the team arrives, each of them split up to find Alicia. Mr. Fantastic, the Human Torch, and the Thing all find themselves in deadly traps, but are able to escape them before they can prove fatal. Doom then sends spheres after the Fantastic Four, which seemingly teleport them into a different dimension. This would end the Fantastic Four for good. Revealed that the Fantastic Four, the spheres teleported, were just mirages created by the Human Torch. As the Invisible Girl rescues Alicia, Dr. Doom comes into the room planning to use Alicia as a hostage. Upon finding Sue, he activates the moving bars in the room, planning on trapping her. However, the rest of the team soon arrive, and so Doom flees, jumping out of his ship and disappearing amongst the clouds. When Doom is gone and Alicia found, the Fantastic Four's lives return to normal.